Hi, welcome to Mosquito Bites and Mystery, Florida's Untold Unknown History. I'm Jeff Dixon. I'm your host for this episode as we look back at the history of Florida, which maybe you're not aware of, and if there's a lesson somewhere tucked inside that we need to find. This lesson begins with a front page publicity stunt. It was a sensation throughout the country. A fortune, according to reports, had been found in Key Largo. A treasure had washed ashore. $500,000 in all, about $7 million today, was discovered by a beachcomber. And of course, there might be more. And newspapers all over the country reported the story, and it created a national sensation. The world looked toward Key Largo, where treasure was simply washing ashore. The reality is that there was a lot less to the story than originally was reported. There was no treasure. The truth was that there was a man who had pulled off a massive publicity stunt. And the reason that he had done it is because he was trying to pay for his impending divorce. In 1925, Ben Hecht got an introduction to the president of the Key Largo Land Company. The president was about to start selling lots and he wanted some publicity. Hecht had an idea: convince people that Key Largo was where the Spanish had planted their treasure. His wild idea was to convince people that there was treasure to be found in Key Largo and that he would charter a yacht to take 50 society women from New York to Key Largo and then turn them loose to look for treasure. Hecht asked for an outrageous fee of $60,000 plus the cost of the stunt, which would be, in 1925 numbers, about $1.3 million today. He then went out and borrowed some gold coins from the president of Cuba. He bought some old Spanish vases and buried them out on Key Largo. But he couldn't convince any society women to come from New York on this yacht to start looking for treasure, which is part of the stunt. So instead, he ended up paying a beachcomber $100 to discover the treasure. So you get the whole idea, right? It was going to be this charter. All of a sudden, this yacht of people come down, high society folks, and they begin discovering treasure in Key Largo, and everyone would start buzzing about it. Now that plan fell apart. So instead, he gave a guy $100 to walk up and down the beach and start finding treasure. And the guy, of course, did. Hecht sent telegrams to 200 newspapers telling them of this amazing discovery, that Key Largo was a place where treasure was being found, and all of a sudden Key Largo was on the front page of papers across the nations. The stunt worked, but Hecht saw that the land boom was about to bust. And so, sensing there was a change in the tide and a change in what was going on in the culture, he took his money and left Florida. He told the land company executives about his feelings, but they wouldn't listen. Hecht went on to write the classic movie The Front Page. He helped write Gone with the Wind, and he won an Academy Award for the screenplay for Underworld in 1927. He was a great storyteller, and that's what he did to try to get people to come to Key Largo. At the end of the day, it was just a publicity stunt. A story that went horribly awry. A story where the characters didn't perform like they were supposed to perform. And a story that was nothing more than a publicity stunt that goes down in the pages of Florida mystery and history as a treasure that never really was, because it had been planted. And it was planted to deceive people and to get them to buy property in Key Largo. The Key Largo company eventually went broke. The president of the company ended up sleeping in his car in the parking lot before he moved on and found success in other places. The moral of the story, simple. Truth matters. There are no shortcuts to success. There are no shortcuts to winning this thing called life. And there are no shortcuts toward achieving something of value that is worth chasing. The publicity stunt was nothing but a gimmick. It was a stunt that was designed by nature to deceive. In life, anytime that you have that criteria, when you design something to deceive, it always puts you in a place that you don't want to be. And so, always lean to the side of truth. Tell the truth. Truth will get you where you need to go. And as you follow God, that truth will indeed set you free. That's what we learn from this little bit of Key Largo in Florida, history and mystery, and of course, a bit of a publicity stunt. I look forward to joining you next time as we unpack the history of Florida.